The racial unrest going on in our community right now prompted Union High School senior Isaiah Jones to wonder on Twitter why society can't replicate a football team with all walks of life coming together for a common goal. And that prompted reporter Paul Valencia to reach out to Isaiah, along with 3 other young African-American leaders in the community, to get their perspective on what's happening in our nation.
This week, I met with a few young African-American leaders in our community. They wanted to share their experiences with you.
My name is Isaiah Jones. I went to Union High School. I'm graduating soon. I'm going to Whitworth University in August to go play football and continue my education. And I'm here to talk about these black issues and police brutality going on in America.
My name is Imani Williams. I'm a senior at Skyview High School in Vancouver, Washington. Later this year, I will be going to Eastern Washington University to play football and to study political science. I'm here to talk to you today about the times that have been going on around the world and around the country regarding Black Lives Matter and George Floyd.
My name is Tuwana Mcgee. I attend Skyview High School. I'm a senior now. In the fall, I'll be attending Portland State University to play football and study business marketing. Today, I just wanted to shed light on some of you guys to show that minorities in America don't get the same privileges or don't have the same experiences as you guys.
Tamir Rice, a little kid, was murdered by the cops for being a little kid in the park and playing around. The cops were called on him for walking around with a firearm when he was playing with a toy gun. It's different standards for black people in America right now. As black people have to be perfect, it seems like black people have to be perfect to fit in, to be a regular person. They have to be perfect to stay away from stereotypes. I think other black men can relate that we have to be perfect just to fit in, just to stay away from stereotypes that black people are lazy or black people can't do what other people can do, or black people are thugs, as people would say. So,
walking down the street, some of them have to worry about what's going on behind them, or if there's a cop looking at them, a cop that holds hate against them. That may cause harm to them.
Why the riots are going on. The riots are happening because after years and years and years, decades and decades of peacefully protesting, 30 years ago, Rodney King was beaten by the police and nothing happened to those police.
Going into stores, making sure that the people know that you're not going to steal anything, that you have money to buy the things that you came into the store to buy. If you have a nice car, driving around, just make sure that you have all of your registration and everything on you. You have to make sure you have the tools and the necessities so that if you get put in a situation like George Floyd, you'll be able to get out of it, but get out of it alive and not have your name become a hashtag or cause protests.
But in times like this, the best thing and sometimes the most difficult thing to do is to ask, if you were in their shoes, if you were in George Floyd's shoes, or if you were in George Floyd's family member's shoes, how would you feel and how would you react if that happened to you or to a family member?
There's always going to be people who are opposing Black Lives Matter, and then there's always going to be people who are with Black Lives Matter. But if you're one of those people who just don't have an opinion or don't know where to stand, if you're staying silent, then you're just siding with the side of the oppressor because you're not standing for anything, so you're falling for anything.
In the world we live in now, there's just a lot of hate going back and forth between both parties. And I feel like if everyone calms down and actually talks about their opinions rather than argue them, a lot of situations would go a lot smoother.
Things that you can do to help, first off, is to register to vote and make sure that you're voting in all your local, state, and nationwide elections. The next thing you can do is you can donate or sign petitions that help Black Lives Matter and other minority causes. The next thing that you can do is just be mindful of what you are thinking and saying when you are interacting with people of color, LGBTQ, and other minorities.
Everybody should be speaking up right now. Everybody should be supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. American lives are being taken, and I think that America can do a way better job at handling this situation in supporting Black lives. So
there's been videos showing cops defending some of the protesters, kneeling with them, marching with them, and things like that show the minorities that not all cops are the problem.
It is also important to note that in the same way that not all cops are bad because one cop has committed a murder, that not all black people are bad because a few have committed crimes. Not all Middle Easterns are terrorists because a few have committed terrorist acts. Not all Latinos are criminals because a few have committed crimes. And not all white people are racist because a few are racist. Use the same logic that you apply to the police force to people that you meet every day in your life. Try to stay away from prejudice and stereotypes and instead look to people as human beings and not generalizations.
I was a part of the state championship team with Union football 2 years ago when we won the state championship. We all worked together as a team, as a unit. We all worked together towards the same goal. We didn't care what you looked like, where you came from, what you believed, or what you thought. We just worked together towards the same goal and accomplished the state championship. So I think that if society can, copy the same mentality that we can work together, doesn't matter what you look like, what you believe, where you come from, work together towards the same goal, which is success, which is winning, which is succeeding in life, which is building a family, which is the American dream that people have not been given the opportunity to get because of racial disparities or racism or institutionalized racism. I think that we can all just come together and work as one rather than discriminating because of the color of someone's skin or what someone believes. So that's what I have to say.
It shines light on the fact that not all cops are as bad as everyone makes them out to be. So seeing those types of videos and those types of protests, it helps out overall with how all the protests are going to go in the future, just because people understand that some cops are on our side. Not all cops are against us. Not all cops are out to kill us. Not all cops are out to put us in jail, but there's some that are out there with good hearts.